Ahoy, salty dogs. My name is Lenscap, and welcome back to Project Titan. This is part 2 of our rebuild, refit, remake, of the, what is this ship called? The Prowler class. That's right. So I read a bunch of your comments, and I agreed with a lot of the things you guys were saying. You were like, the gun is too stumpy, make it longer, make the barrel longer, fewer pipes or cables, people were saying, and I agree with pretty much everything you guys suggested. So I went ahead and between episodes did a little bit of building. I made the body of the gun. Here, let me get my HUD on so I can kind of point. I made the body of the gun longer before it ended here, and I kind of lengthened it by a few blocks. I added this section on the front, which I think was a good addition. I added another little bit here, and I stretched the actual barrel out by several blocks as well. I think that was good. I also removed the hoses, cables that came off the shuttle and plugged into the ship. I think you guys are right. It was just too much. I did, however, keep these ones. I think those actually work and add to the appeal of the ship. I saw a comment that said, "Don't put sails or a thruster on the gun part. That'll really make it feel more like it's torn off of something else." And I get where you're coming from, but look, dude. If you think about where center of mass of this ship is, look how big this gun is. Center of mass for this thing is going to be like right here. You have to have a thruster on this side of the center of mass, or this ship will just go in circles. It'll just make circles. So the thruster is necessary. Sure, we'll go with that. So I feel like we need the thruster there. I added some more greebling to the side, and let's see. Did I do other things? I think that about covers it. I think that's most of the updates and changes there. Oh, I added sails. That's something that wasn't there before. I added the sails. I tried to put this front sail on as well, but it just didn't look right. It didn't really work as well as it does on this ship. But you know, I think it's fine without it. I don't think it's really necessary. I might even remove this one looking at it, but I don't think it hurts being there. So I think we'll do that. In place of the cables that were on top, I added 2 mounting points for turrets. So we'll put an offensive turret here of some description, and probably an AMS turret here. That's what we've got going on this ship, and I think that works pretty well. I don't know if I'll reuse this turret or if I'll make a new turret. I'm not sure about that just yet. The AMS turrets as well. I'm not sure if I'll reuse those or make new ones. They changed the way missile health works since the last time I played this, so I'll have to catch up on how that actually works before I decide whether to reuse these AMS turrets or not. So I think the next thing to do for this ship is I want to make one change here. I think this extends too far. This little detail on the side here. Let's pull that back in just a little bit. Maybe to there. Yeah, I think that's better. Expose a little bit more of the barrel. We might even make this a little bit longer, but we can always play with that later. I think the very next thing for us to do here is to delete this barrel and dock a new barrel so that we can build the firing mechanism. So I'm going to go ahead and put the logic together and build the barrel, and then we'll dock it and test it together in the next clip. And Viola, we have it. Okay, so I think this is going to work. We should be, let's make sure that this rail is pointing out. It is. I'm in the barrel right now. I haven't done the decorative parts of it yet because we can always do that part later. I just have to make sure that it's long enough that it will still dock and not be like we don't have to build these parts because we definitely won't be able to do that while it's like inset. You know, because it'll be blocked by these wedges. You got wedges rubbing against wedges, and that becomes a real nightmare. All right, so let's get this rail ducker. I know there's no thrust. Hopefully we don't need it. Where's the ship? Okay, now the question is going to be, can we actually hit the rails from where we are? We'll just very slowly maneuver. Come on. Oh my gosh, I got it! Cool, alright, so it's docked now. Yeah, we might, that's pretty long. That's way longer than it was before, but I don't think that's a problem. Alright, am I in, so let's see. So if I do build mode and center click on this, yeah, there we go, and I switch to the proper entity. And let's do a test fire. I actually need to do one thing with this. I need to make an inner ship remote. Here we go. And I'll need this to activate this button. The reason that I like to do buttons on rails is I've had it bug out if you have like the flip-flop activate the rail automatically, and I'd rather the flip-flop activate the button to switch to the rails. It's just personal preference. I don't know that it actually matters whatsoever. Alright, so let's get an inner ship remote here. Where do we put it? It doesn't matter. Let's just put it right here. Okay, and this we're going to link to this button. We're actually going to link the button back into the inner ship remote, and that way the remote will automatically turn itself off after the duration of a button press. So that's useful. So let's name this fire. Let's name this fire cannon. We're going to call it a cannon. We're going to use a missile probably, but we're going to call it a cannon. Oh, am I missing blocks here? Oh, I deleted far too many blocks. That's okay. I'm pretty sure these were just gray basic here. Let's just put these back real quick. And oh, I don't have symmetry on, so we'll have to put them back on this side too. I know, I'm trying to build suspense, right? This is a storyteller thing. That's really what I'm doing. I'm building suspense by not firing the gun just yet. I'm definitely not stalling for time or anything. Okay, that's good. Let's go. Now it's time. So let's go into our cockpit mode. If you double tap right shift, that's what I've got it bound to. I'm not sure what it actually is. Then you kind of get this free camera thing. Let's get our fire cannon going, and here we go. Oh, it's so slow. It's so slow. I think the effect is lessened because well, first of all, because it's slow, and second of all, because we don't have the detailing on the end. Okay, so let's go into build mode, and let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. It's because these aren't linked. These aren't actually doing anything. Shift V. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. That was just bug testing. Let's try again. It's still really slow. Okay, so if we put mass enhancers, will that speed it up? Let's see if we can put some mass enhancers in here. There should be a couple already, but let's see. Where can we put these? It doesn't really matter where we put them. Let's fill this up with them. And this should help it be able to move more quickly, I think. So let's fill this up. Cap, why aren't you using the brush tools? Because I'm already almost done with this. 4 more here. 4 more here. Alright, so that... I think I missed one. Okay, try again. Trial and error, right? Like everything in StarMade. Go! It's still not very quick, is it? I wanted it faster than that. So let's do build mode and manually fire it and see. There's got to be a way we can speed this up. I'm going to look into it real quick and try a couple of things, see if I can't get this to go faster. I want it like twice as fast as it is now. Alright, so it doesn't seem like, if you guys know of a way to make that move any faster, let me know in the comments. But I don't think there's a way to actually make it any faster than it is. In fact, these only matter if the mass of the docked entity is greater than 50. In our case, the docked entity's mass is 10. So this didn't actually change anything. So they're just extra blocks. So we can just completely remove those. I'll do that in a minute. What's more important is that it appears to recoil, right? That's the point of this exercise, which it does. So it works. It's not exactly what I want to see. That's still pretty cool. I kind of wish you could see it move a little bit more, so what I might add are some other... Let's try this. Ooh, I didn't want to move. I wanted this. So what we might do is something like... If we take these gray blocks and we do like here, and then here, and then here... Or something maybe like, not that one, but this one. Like that. And then that way you'll be able to see some motion when it does actually recoil. That might help. That one's going to be a little bit of a trouble to do the wedges on, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. And let's not forget to do the bottom as well. But you get the idea. So let's try to fire it now. Because again, more important is the illusion of recoil than the actual speed of it. Yeah, and that kind of helps, I think. That makes the whole barrel look like it's recoiling. The little stripey pattern. I think we can pull that off a little bit better. I'm just not sure how. We'll have to mess with it for a little bit. But I think that works. I think that does a pretty good job of it. Alright, let me clean this up some, and we'll move on to putting some systems in it, I guess. I cleaned up the barrel. I put the little motion lines underneath the ridges at the base of the barrel, and I installed a little bit of a missile. I want to see this thing fire. I want to see what it actually looks like when it shoots. So, are you guys ready for this? Zoom out a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty cool. All the AMS turrets and all the ships are going crazy. Alright, I think that works pretty well, actually. That's a pretty neat effect. Alright, systems are mostly in place. I have a little bit of balancing left to do, but we've got pretty much what we're looking at here. I have learned a lot from this, so I don't have very much experience with the new power whatsoever, and balancing this has been a real task for me. I'm struggling to get as much packed into the ship as I want. I think that's a good thing, though. It means that I'm going to have plenty of room when I move on to other ships like this one that has a ridiculously large interior. I was really afraid that I wasn't going to have enough room for systems, but now I'm not nervous about that at all. I think I'm going to have plenty of space. Because if we fly into this gun right here, it's like 60% vacant right now. Granted, there are no chambers on the reactor yet. And I think what we're going to do as far as reactor chambers go, we're going to go for reactor power chambers. And we're going to add some like boosters to it that'll make our reactor stronger. We also might add some other efficiency chambers or something. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked through a lot of it yet, but I think we'll add the booster chambers, and that way we can buff our gun a little bit. As it stands right now, our missile fires and uses pretty much all of our power. If we try and move while the missile is reloading, then it becomes a bit of a problem. But like I said, I think once we add the chambers on the reactor, that'll resolve itself. I also ran into this situation where if I connect the inner ship remote, if I hit C on it, and then I hit V on the cannon computer to fire that, it removes the cannon computer from this list. And even if I like deselect the cannon computer, it's still gone. The only way I have to get it back is to actually physically delete the cannon computer block and place it back. And that's a little bit frustrating. But the idea is that we don't really fire the missile without doing the recoil animation anyway, so that's fine. I did kind of want to be able to see the cannon computer on the hotbar though, so we can kind of see how it has like its level of charge and reload and whatnot. Okay, now it's not firing at all, and I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll test that later on. So I think the next step is going to be to implement chambers on the reactor and see if we can buff the gun a little bit. Let's take a look at the stats, though, we ended up with. Right now, our missile has, it says 80 blocks right here, but it's actually twice that because I have it missile beam. It does about 96, it does exactly 96,000 damage if it hits. So that's pretty good. The ship has 104,000 shields. Let's see if I can find where that is. Yeah, 104-ish thousand shields. So one missile will take out the shields, and another missile will completely destroy the ship, I feel like. So that's pretty solid. I'm comfortable with that. You know, it's supposed to be a big-ass gun, and if it fights itself, it'll kill itself pretty quickly. And I think that's a good point. Alright, so let's move on to this last phase. Let's put these reactor chambers in and see where we can finally end up there. And here we have it, the Prowler class, complete. So I guess complete, close enough. I added some interior. I think it works. There's a little medical bay, there's like a bunk, there's some storage over here in the corner. Right there it is. And some consoles for fun. I ended up going missile beam. I actually had to make it a little bit smaller than it was. So if we look, I'm not in the ship. If we look at it, it ended up being 51 blocks, 102 total, which is a weird number, I guess, but that's the number I settled on that works. I did not hook up the inner ship remote to the cannon because of that bug I mentioned. I did mention that, right? It doesn't... I think I did. I think I talked about it in the video earlier. It's been like 2 days, so I don't know. Let's see. I added some chambers in. So our reactor has chambers now. I've got recon chambers mostly, and I added a power recharge chamber. In fact, we can look at it here. So I've got a reactor power chamber. The base enhancement increases recharge efficiency by 110%. So it recharges super fast when we run out of power, or when we're recharging power, I guess. And then I gave us some scanner upgrades. I figured this could be like a stealth killer. If we upgrade this to its maximum level, then we overuse the reactor, and it doesn't work. So we've got to level that down a little bit. But I think that's fine. We can definitely take out stealth ships pretty easily, or at least decloak them pretty easily. Let's see, what else? Everything seems to work. I do struggle charging the jump drive. So I've got to like do it in waves. I definitely have trouble doing it while the cannon is reloading. I keep saying cannon, it's a missile, right? But it's one barrel, so it's a it doesn't matter. Let's fire the thing. Oh, before I fire it, one other thing I did was I did set it up so that this inner ship remote has a timer. The timer is exactly, well, maybe half a second longer than the actual recharge time of the cannon, of the missile. So if I fire it, if I do link them and I fire it, then the inner ship remote will turn off when you're ready to fire again. The reason I don't want to necessarily link them, though, is I don't think AI is smart enough to use that. And if I link them, it removes the gun from the G menu, from the guns menu, and then I don't think the AI will be able to use it at all. So, but what we're going to do is simulate. So if I hit 0 and click the missile after I do the recoil thing, control, then we can kind of simulate what it looks like. Let's do it from this view. Pretty cool, right? I think it's cool. You also notice that all the AMS guns from the other ships are going off. They can't kill this missile, and I don't know what that's about. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit, but I guess that's good. If we can't take out our own missile, then this ship will kill itself pretty quickly. I kind of want to do a combat test, this ship against itself, and see how it holds up. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a combat test next episode, or if we should move on to another ship at that point. But anyway, that's going to conclude today's video. Let me know what you guys want to see next time, and until then, stay tuned.